always takes off during the middle of the day to go home. There always seems to be some sort of emergency to tend to at home. He takes long breaks, leaves early to go home. He's not getting his work done in record time. He's not getting anything done at all. Chances are he's using the emergencies at home as an excuse to stay away from the job. If something's wrong at work, fix it, if you can, or look for your solution elsewhere. If something's wrong at home, fix it. If what's going on at home is the result of neglect, admit it and fix it. Pay greater attention. If you need to go to counseling, go to counseling. Talk with your minister. Talk with a trusted friend. But remember that whatever the problem is at home, it probably didn't happen overnight. So make sure to give it some time in the healing. Be patient. Now there's a balance between work time and home time, professional time and personal time. They both have to be working well in order to maximize your ambition and maximize your potential. Problems at home affect work. Problems at work affect home. Even when things are going well in both areas, sometimes special circumstances call for the work time to take away from the home time. And if that's the case, make sure everybody at home knows when to expect the light at the end of the tunnel. And if that extra project is really taking away from the family, make sure your family knows that their time will be paid back with interest. Psychologists have found two major things that we as human beings get the most happiness and satisfaction from. Two things. Number one, our work, our contribution to society, our continued progress toward reaching our goals, our activity that generates our lifestyle, influence, power. And number two, love. The love we receive from our spouse, our children, our parents, our families, our friends. Knowing that one person or several people care about us, want to spend time with us. The professional goals that you've outlined for yourself take a lot of work. Your ambition takes a lot of work, discipline, skills, constant learning to improve yourself and develop yourself and improve your skills and develop your skills. You don't expect that your achievements will come to you on a silver platter. Working on the wish and the hope and the prayer philosophy? No. You know that your goals require constant attention and discipline every day. Or they'll what? They'll never come to you at all. You can't just come home at night after work, after a long day, and expect that your family life is growing just fine all by itself. You can't just expect that your personal life will grow and flourish without attention, without taking time to feed and water and weed out the bad stuff, the negative stuff that happens while you're away. No, creating the perfect personal life, family life, takes just as much attention as creating the perfect professional life. It takes love and nurturing and kindness and sincerity and caring. It takes all those things. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that happens today. People spend all their time, focus all their energy, give everything they've got. They give it all to the job. It can't work that way. Your family requires more than that. The investment we make in our personal relationships before they're put on paper is the investment we must continue to make. The more we give, the more we get. If you stop giving, guess what? You'll probably stop receiving, too. So keep your investment in relationships and family active. That's part of the good life. What good is a mansion on the hill if you've got no one to share it with? It's no good. What good is an investment portfolio worth millions if you've got no one to share it with? It's no good. What good is working so hard day after day, month after month, year after year, working until you accumulate everything you want, and in the meantime, your family left you? It's no good. It all loses its value. Life has to be balanced. Work hard, play hard. Work 6 days, take 1 day off. Work 3 months, take 1 week off. Life has to be balanced, or your lifestyle will suffer. Life without balance can cost your relationships. Life without balance can cost your health. Life without balance can cost your spirituality. Life without balance can cost your wealth. Happiness. Balance. Work on a balanced life. Work on balanced ambitions. If you're a believer, don't neglect it. Study and practice if you're a believer in spirituality. Nourish, study, and practice the art of spirituality. Because we learned before that the great destroyer of all of us is neglect. Starts like an infection, becomes a disease. One neglect leads to another, starts spinning out of control. Here's one thing to consider if you've neglected your spirituality, if you're a believer. Now, I'm not asking you to be a believer, but I'm asking that if you are a believer, do not neglect that part of your future. Study and practice as diligently as you study and practice ambition and parenting and skills and success in the marketplace. Faith helps sustain ambition. Here's what else plays an important role in your ambition: your physical side, your health. And here's some of the best advice I've got on the physical side. Ancient scripture says, treat your body like a temple. Excellent advice. Treat your body like a temple, meaning something you'd take extremely good care of. A temple, not a woodshed. No, a temple. And here's why. The mind and the body work together. You've got to have both functioning well. Here's one of the best ways I've come to look at it. Your body needs to be a good support system for the mind and the spirit. A good support system that can take you where you want to go, support you with strength and energy and power and vitality. Here's a major part of success: vitality. I'm telling you, some people don't do well simply because they don't feel well. Now, feeling well is a personal responsibility. By taking care of the temple, it's the only place you've got to live. Your physical body. Cherish it. Ancient scripture says this: sometimes the spirit is willing, but the body is weak. See, that's a sad combination, a willing spirit and a weak body. You can't think of a much more pitiful combination. You wake up in the morning and the mind says, let's go get 'em, and the body says, I can't even get out of bed. You now have to have a conversation with your body that says, that's the last time you're going to fail me. Give me the excuse that you can't get out of bed. I'll drive you to your knees to do push-ups until you're exhausted. I've got these plans for fortune and enterprise, and there's one thing I'm going to demand: a strong, unbelievably powerful support system. From now on, I'm going to have a support system that will take me wherever I want to go. Support me with power. Support me with vitality, strength, uniqueness, zest. Anything less than that, I will not settle for. I'm telling you, you've got to take care of this physical side because it's so important. Be conscious of self, of your support system. Be conscious of self, but not self-conscious. Don't work on it too much, more than you need to. You don't have to spend 6 hours a day to have a good support system. You don't have to. 30 minutes a day, 1 hour a day, and you can have a strong, healthy body. Exercise? You can do just a few simple things. Take the stairs instead of the elevator, unless you're on the 50th floor in New York. When you're looking for a parking space, don't look for the one that's right by the front door. Park a block away and get a little bit of exercise. But here's the best exercise program in the world, the one that'll work for you, the one that you'll do, the program that won't bore you or hurt you. If you don't like to jog, if your joints can't handle it, go for a walk. If you don't like to walk, take up swimming half a mile a few times a week. If you don't like exercise that seems like exercise, get into a sport, like tennis or racquetball or basketball or softball. You don't have to do too much, just enough to keep your body a good support system. Here's what else happens when you participate in a regular exercise program. You just plain feel better. Not just your body, but your mind. It's kind of a paradox, but the more physical activity you do, the less sleep you need. The more physical activity you do, the better your mind works. We've all heard of the runner's high. Well, it's true. 20 to 30 minutes of sustained activity starts releasing endorphins in our bloodstream. And endorphins are our body's natural secretion of morphine. No wonder they call it a runner's high. It is. Take care of the physical so that it becomes a happy support system. It'll have the muscle and the strength and the vitality to take you wherever you want to go, accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. Develop a good support system to take care of you, and make all of your dreams come true. Because you've got to have the physical. Okay, and here's what else you need to pay attention to in the physical. Those things that could hurt you, like overeating and smoking and too much alcohol. These things can destroy your temple just as surely as pure neglect. Now, a fine glass of wine with dinner is one of the joys of life, lifestyle, but drinking too much too often will tear down your temple, and it'll do more than that. Drinking too much at business dinners or social dinners will end up alienating you from the professionals who know their limits. Make sure you know your limits. A fine glass of wine, yes. A bottle of wine, probably not. Know your limits. Pay attention to your behavior in the marketplace, lest it cost you more than you'd like to pay. It's all about balance in life, how your ambition in the marketplace translates into a balanced life at home. If you're giving too much at work, pay it back to your family with interest. Balance. It's important. If you don't have balance, you have what? You'll end up paying too high a price, sacrificing your family for your work, being careful with your clients and careless with your children. Without balance, there's a price to pay, and we must all pay the price. And sometimes the price is just too high. So evaluate the price before you begin. What must I give up to achieve this goal? What must I become? Evaluate it all. Now, do you think your disciplines at work can affect your personal life? Do you think the skills you perfect at work affect your personal life? Of course. The skills you bring from work have an enormous bearing on your personal life. All disciplines affect each other. Nothing stands alone. Everything affects everything. Everything matters. Yes, there are some things that don't matter as much, but there isn't anything that doesn't matter. Nothing at all. Be not casual in your approach to life and business and family. Don't be casual. Everything matters. How you treat your children will undoubtedly affect how you treat your clients. How you run your office will undoubtedly affect how you run your life, your home. Everything matters. Now let's look at leadership. The skills of leadership are required at work, yes, but they're also required at home, with our families, in the community, in education. I call leadership the challenge to be something more than mediocre. A step up to the new challenge, the new opportunity. It was said of Abraham Lincoln that he was at his mother's bedside when she died. Her last words were, "Be somebody, Abe." And if that story is true, evidently he took it to heart and proceeded from that moment to become somebody. Now, when it comes to being a leader, if you really want to attract quality people, the key is to become a person of quality. Leadership. The ability to attract someone to the gifts and skills and opportunities you offer as an owner, as a manager, as a parent. I call leadership the great challenge of life. In a wide variety of areas, in science, in politics, industry, and education, sales. And here's a major one. Here's one of the greatest, the challenge of parenting. The greatest challenge of leadership is parenting. Not just getting our salespeople ready for the 21st century, not just getting our business colleagues ready for the 21st century, but getting our children ready for the 21st century. But now here's what's important in leadership. Refinement. All great leadership keeps working on itself until it becomes refined and effective. And here's some refinement. Learn to be strong but not rude. This is a refinement. These are the extra steps to become a powerful, capable leader with a wide range of reach. Some people mistake rudeness for strength. It's not even a good substitute. Next, be kind but not weak. We must not mistake weakness for kindness. Kindness isn't weak. Kindness is a certain type of strength. We must be kind enough to tell somebody the truth. We must be kind enough and considerate enough to lay it on the line. We must be kind enough to tell it like it is and not deal in delusion. Next, learn to be bold but not a bully. It does take boldness to win the day, to build your ambitions. You've got to stride out front. You've got to be willing to take the first arrow, to take the first problem, first trouble. I think we'd all agree that farming is not an easy job. We must face the weeds and the rains and the bugs straight on. It's not an easy task. But if you want any value at harvest, you've got to press, you've got to be bold, you've got to seize it. Here's the next one. You've got to be humble but not timid. You can't get to the high life by being timid. Some people mistake timidity for humility. But humility is a virtue. Timidity is a disease. It's an affliction. Now it can be cured, but it is a problem. Humility is almost a godlike word. A sense of awe, a sense of wonder, an awareness of the human soul and spirit. Something unique about the human drama versus the rest of life. Humility is a grasp of the distance between us and the stars, yet having the feeling that we're part of the stars. Here's a good refinement. Be proud but not arrogant. It takes pride to win the day. It takes pride to build your ambition. It takes pride in community. It takes pride in cause, accomplishment. But the key is to be proud without being arrogant. Do you know the worst kind of arrogance? Arrogance from ignorance. It's hardly tolerable. And it can be expensive. A young newlywed couple got some money from their parents to buy a new set of patio furniture. Young couple goes to the store and picks out the perfect set. They go to the checkout, and the clerk scans the UPC code. The couple says, "Hey, there's 4 chairs in this container. You're only charging us for 1. Clerk says, "I know my job," she says arrogantly. "I stepped up here and scanned the container. Don't you think I know what I'm doing?" Well, the young couple tried to explain that she was wrong. Clerk wouldn't listen. Young couple got 4 beautiful patio chairs for the price of 1. Now, do you think the store clerk will alter her arrogant attitude when it's time to close out her cash drawer? Probably so. Ignorant arrogance is the worst kind. If a guy's smart and arrogant, we can tolerate that. But if a guy's dumb and arrogant, that's just too much to take. And here's the next one. Humor without folly. That's important for a leader. Humor, yes, but folly, no. In leadership, we learn it's okay to be witty, but not silly. Witty, but not silly. Fun, but not foolish. Next, deal in realities. Deal in truth. Save yourself the agony. Just accept it like it is. Life is unique. Accept it as unique. Some people call it tragic, but I'd like to think it's unique. The whole drama of life is unique. Fascinating. Life is unique. Leadership is unique. The skills that work well for one leader may not work at all for another. But the fundamental skills of leadership can probably be massaged a bit to work well for just about everyone. At work, in the community, at home. Many people assume that the skills involved in having a good, solid family come naturally. To who? They don't teach how to raise a family 101, how to raise a family 102 in school. They don't. They should, but they don't. People tend to assume that good leaders in the community are automatically good leaders at home. So what are some of the skills involved in raising a good, solid family? Communication is number one. Every member of the family has to know that they have a voice and that their voice is respected. Every person in the family has to know that their opinions count, that the family is a democracy, that if there's an issue, they can put it on the table. And that's what's so important about the dinner table. It's not just a place for the evening meal. No, it's a place to bring out all the issues, to talk about the day, to share experiences, to ask questions and hope for answers around the dinner table. Now, in today's society, there are a lot of broken homes, divorced parents that share custody of the kids. How do you raise good, solid kids when they're split between two households? Make sure the philosophies in both households are compatible. Now, obviously, the reigning philosophies are different. That's why the home is split. But for you parents facing this kind of challenge, put away the personal differences and develop one set of philosophies by which to raise the kids. Why? Because if you don't, the kids will be a mess. One set of rules for one house, another set of rules for another house. No, you can't do this, because if you do, the kids will grow up confused as to what's right and what's wrong. So regardless of how your household is set up, make sure that communication plays a vital role. Everybody needs a voice. Everybody has to be heard. And everybody has to acknowledge that everyone else's voice counts. That's number one, communication. Here's number two in raising a solid family, activity. There was a study done a while back that surveyed a large group of happy families, and here's what they all had in common. First thing, they made a regular habit out of eating dinner together as often as possible. Second thing, they were all involved in one physical activity or another, walks, tennis, swimming, basketball. They planned family physical fitness activities. Third thing, they made a regular habit of spending Sunday mornings in church. And the fourth common denominator between successful families, the parents scheduled quality, personal time together. Alone. So why would the parents' personal time affect the entire family so dramatically? Because when the parents are happy with each other and invest in each other, they present a unified front to the kids. Personal time together, it's important. So the second key in raising a solid family is activity. Outside activity, planned activity, bike rides in the summer, ski trips in the winter, boating, fishing, trips to the zoo, frisbee in the yard, baseball, softball, basketball, whatever interest your family has. Make sure you take time to schedule these kinds of activities, outside activities, on a regular basis. And then schedule inside activities, doing things together at home on a regular basis. If you've got a young family that's gotten used to plopping down in front of the TV during every spare moment, start weaning them off this activity one day a week. Plan one evening a week without the TV. And during this time, read together, work on household projects together, go through the family picture albums and videos together, plan vacations together. Start a family journal. Write in it once a week what all you did, where all you went, and what all you saw, and how all you felt. Family journals are a wonderful way of tracking the growth of your family and the growth of your kids. When you look back on these family journals, you'll find they're one of the greatest treasures you have. And here's another fun way to log the history of your family. A friend of mine tells that when she was a kid, one of three, in a family where sibling rivalry was at its height, her parents used to hide a tape recorder under the dining room table every so often. and tape the family dinner conversation. Wow, those kids get together now and have a great time with this stuff. They're grown now, but when they look back and listen to their upbringing, it has a way of rekindling the family bond. And here's the third most important key to raising a strong, healthy family with bonds that'll last a lifetime: a spiritual connection. Now, I know that your beliefs are your own, and whether or not you call the power behind our existence God or not is entirely up to you. But whatever your faith is, whatever your beliefs are, share them with your family, share them with your children. Make time frequently to discuss the spiritual aspects of life. Give your kids the opportunity of choice by giving them a basis of knowledge. There are all sorts of wonderful programs at churches these days, aside from the Sunday sermon that's so valuable. There's Sunday school for kids, vacation, Bible school, camping trips, family outings, weekly Bible studies, picnics, plays, musicals, concerts. If you're searching for a new church home, visit several churches to find out which one is right for you. There are many things you can do with your family to build strong bonds and healthy relationships. The tips I gave you are just a few. You may have other ideas, and that's great. Just remember that the more energy you expend on your family, the more time and attention you give to your family, the more love and attention you'll receive in return. Your children will love you unconditionally when they're young. Just make sure that when they grow up and know better, that you've given them a reason to continue their unconditional love. So be together with your family. Go to church together, spend time together, talk with each other. Get to know your children, who they are, what their dreams are, their visions of the future. Get to know your children. They're not just miniature versions of you. They're special little people with their own personalities. The greatest satisfaction after a productive day's work, the greatest satisfaction is coming home to a harmonious family. Balance, it's part of lifestyle. It's where ambition can lead you, if you deem it part of your course. The economics of ambition, the rewards of ambition, the final result of working hard, burning the midnight oil, doing it until, being disciplined to stay on track, day after day, week after week, month after month. What's all this working hard going to get you? Better put, what's all this working smart going to get you? As you've followed this program on the power of ambition, as you've learned to set your goals and develop a game plan, and use the tools of reflection and discipline in putting your life together, as you're building your ambition to reach your destination, surely, somewhere in your list you wrote down wealth. I'm sure you didn't write down that you wanted to earn enough to just get by. No, you probably wrote down that you wanted to have a certain amount of money. To some it may be to earn $50,000 a year. To others it may be to earn $500,000 a year, or $1 million. It doesn't matter. You probably wrote down what you believe that you're capable of earning if you really exercised your potential. What you want to earn the next year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, in your lifetime. And that figure probably would be viewed by the majority as being rich, getting the most from your ambition, being rewarded by your ambition. Now, I'm not talking about the incredible feelings of accomplishment. I'm talking about the tangible rewards of ambition. How wealthy should you be in knowledge and in spirit? As wealthy as you possibly can be. How rich should you be? In dollars and investments. As rich as you possibly can be. Now, I'm not talking greedy. I'm talking reward for success at the service of others, not at the expense of others. Is it okay to strive for success? Is it okay to strive to become rich and wealthy? Many people struggle with the concept of being rich. Rich people lack morals. Rich people